hope this moment finds you in wonderful health and a truly peaceful spirit. It's so lovely to have you back at Green Home Living. Today, we're stepping away from the bright blooms and leaning into the quiet, cooling power of nature's favorite color. We're exploring small rustic gardens filled with stunning greenery, showing you how layers of velvet moss, silvered sage, and emerald ferns can turn a tiny backyard into a deep, breathing sanctuary. There is a prehistoric, cooling elegance in a fern. Imagine a cluster of Boston or ostrich ferns tucked into a halved whiskey barrel, the dark, damp oak providing a rich contrast to the bright emerald fronds. In a small rustic garden, ferns act as the ultimate softener. They catch the slightest breeze and turn a shaded corner into a lush, woodland pocket. Their presence suggests a garden that is well watered and peaceful, a place where the noise of the world is muffled by the velvet texture of the leaves. In a small garden, a brick wall can feel like a limit, but with climbing ivy, it becomes a living history. Imagine the tendrils of English ivy slowly reclaiming an old red brick chimney or fence, blurring the lines between the architecture and the earth. This greenery adds a sense of old-world romance, as if the garden has been growing undisturbed for a century. It provides a dense green backdrop that makes the yard feel private, protected, and deeply connected to the passage of time. The shaded parts of a small yard are often the most restorative. Imagine a carpet of wide-leafed hostas in shades of chartreuse and deep forest green, punctuated by the delicate nodding heads of hellebores. This pairing creates a cool visual temperature, turning a dark side yard into a lush sanctuary. The rustic charm comes from the way these plants seem to hug the base of an old stone wall or a weathered wooden bench, creating a sanctuary that feels hidden away from the heat of the day. Moss is the velvet of the rustic world. Imagine a heavy stone bench tucked into the furthest corner of a tiny yard, its surface slowly being claimed by a soft, green carpet of moss. It's a sign of a garden that has reached a state of absolute stillness. Sitting on a mossy bench feels like a direct connection to the earth. It grounds the space, making a new garden feel ancient and storied, and providing a quiet spot for reflection where the only sound is the rustle of the leaves overhead. Greenery isn't always wild. Sometimes, it provides the bones of the garden. Imagine spherical boxwoods planted in long, reclaimed wooden troughs. Their tight, evergreen leaves provide a structured, formal counterpoint to the more chaotic elements of a rustic yard. In a small space, these green anchors give the eye a place to rest. They provide a year-round presence, ensuring that even in the heart of winter, your garden maintains its architectural soul and its commitment to the color of life. Not all greenery is deep emerald. The muted silver green of culinary sage brings a sophisticated, Mediterranean texture to a rustic porch. Imagine a collection of mismatched, chipped clay pots overflowing with the soft, fuzzy leaves of sage and dusty miller. These silver tones act as a highlight, catching the afternoon sun and reflecting it back with a soft glow. They bring a sensory layer to the garden, offering an earthy fragrance every time you brush past them on your way to the door. When ground space is a luxury, the walls must bloom. Imagine a vertical grid made of weathered barn wood, with small pockets holding a variety of delicate ferns and mosses. This living tapestry turns a flat fence into a three-dimensional forest. It brings the cooling presence of greenery to eye level, making a small patio feel like it is enclosed in a green cocoon. It's a space-saving masterpiece that celebrates the diversity of leaf shapes and shades in a single vertical glance. A rustic path shouldn't just be something you walk on. It should be something you experience. Imagine irregular flagstones where the gaps are filled with a lush, green carpet of creeping thyme. As you walk, the tiny leaves release a herbal perfume, and the soft greenery cushions your step. It breaks up the hard lines of the stone and makes the ground feel like a living part of the garden. It's a humble, hard-working greenery that turns a simple walkway into a sensory journey. Movement is the secret ingredient of a peaceful garden. Imagine tall, feathery ornamental grasses planted along a silvered cedar fence. As the wind moves through the yard, the grasses sway and rustle, adding a whisper to the garden's atmosphere. The fine, needle-like textures of the grass provide a beautiful contrast to the heavy, flat grains of the wood. It creates a dynamic layer of greenery that changes with the light, making a small backyard feel airy, open, and alive. A pergola provides a ceiling to your outdoor room, but it's the greenery that makes it a sanctuary. Imagine a small cedar structure almost entirely swallowed by the broad, heart-shaped leaves of a grapevine. In the summer, the leaves create a dense, emerald canopy that filters the sunlight into a soft, dappled green glow. Sitting beneath this living roof, you feel completely immersed in nature, proving that in a rustic garden, the best architecture is the kind that grows. To make a small yard feel like a permanent escape, you need greenery that stays. Imagine a border of low-growing junipers or dwarf pines, their needle-fine textures providing a rugged woodland feel. These evergreens act as a permanent hug for your yard, maintaining the rustic aesthetic even when the flowers have faded. They provide a deep, dark green backdrop that makes other lighter-colored plants pop, creating a sense of depth and maturity in a compact space. There is a specific joy in finding a plant that loves the difficult spots. Imagine a large blue-green hosta tucked into the damp shadow of a stone birdbath or a garden wall. Its massive leaves act as natural umbrellas, keeping the soil cool and moist. In a small rustic garden, these large-leafed plants provide a sense of scale and abundance. They make a tiny nook feel like a tropical hideaway, offering a visual rest from the busy textures of the surrounding world. The marriage of industrial metal and organic greenery is a hallmark of the rustic look. Imagine a long weathered zinc trough sitting on a stone ledge, overflowing with the succulent lime green leaves of trailing sedum. The cool, gray metal makes the green of the sedum look incredibly vibrant. These found containers carry a history of farm life, and filling them with hardy spilling greenery brings a sense of resilience and tough love beauty to your small space design. Structure in a rustic garden doesn't have to be rigid. Imagine a low, sprawling hedge of rosemary lining a front path. The needle-like leaves and woody stems provide a sturdy, fragrant boundary that only looks better the more wild it gets. It's a hard-working piece of greenery that defines the path while inviting you to reach out and touch it. It brings a sense of the Mediterranean countryside to your front door, proving that greenery can be both architectural and inviting. As the soft light filters through the leaves and the garden settles into its quiet evening rhythm, we're reminded that peace isn't found in a riot of color, but in the stillness of the green. A small rustic garden is a beautiful promise that we can always find a place to reconnect with the earth. We hope these images inspired you to create your own lush hideaway. Until next time, may your home always be a place of profound peace and simple natural grace.